Amanda, thank you. There, well, as Amanda says, and I'm not going to repeat quite a lot of what she said, but I'll flesh it out a little bit more. It's a bit like being in church. Everybody sits at the back. It's sort of quite alarming, really. I don't know what it is about vicars or bishops or whatever that puts people off and drives them to the back of their church, but there you go. As Amanda said, it's been an interesting year. Mixed year, weather obviously played its part. Terrific Olympic Games. Everybody did a fantastic job in presenting the venue, and I think the accolades of everybody involved there thoroughly deserved, and I think the venue set new standards and certainly left a lot for Rio to live up to, and clearly very well done to everybody involved, and not just those who were responsible for the venue, but clearly for those who were actually helping out, volunteering. Volunteering was a big ask. I think it was sort of bureaucratic overload from everything I can hear about everybody who was involved there, sort of paper monsters and numbers of trees being cut down and everything else, but clearly well done to everybody who was involved with that. As promised in the 2012 in our business plan summary for this year, we've continued to focus on business growth with the introduction and development with what's proved to be a very popular training and education program. That's really started to take off now. During the year we had over 150 rider training days, attracting more than 1,750 participants. This is on top of the additional training activities that were involved or organised for the under-18s, the teams, the officials, coaches, course builders, designers and volunteers. And as you can imagine, starting that from scratch has been a big ask. There's a lot to do, but we continue to develop that as hopefully a major arm of the business. We worked hard on improving the efficiencies across the business. We've increased commercial revenue from various sources. An example is a reduction in the magazine generation costs combined with increased advertising revenue across the business has improved this area by 124% without having increased in real terms the cost of membership and horse registrations. As a result, we've got solid reserves, a sound structure, a board with ambitions to grow and a real desire to make the business even more efficient to enable the membership to benefit as much as possible in terms of an even better sport. The total membership this year, rather surprisingly I guess to some people, has grown by 2%. And we continue to develop new initiatives to encourage new competitors to compete and try the sport. And what we started this year has proved successful, and we can continue to develop those initiatives in the future. This year, despite the weather, it's actually, and Wendy will expand on this a little bit more, with a huge number of days, competition days lost, we managed to mitigate the financial risk to British eventing, which a few years ago you might recall would have been a bit of a challenge with the abandonment insurance as it then operated. And the abandonment insurance scheme has actually been really well received and thankfully a bit of a godsend, obviously, for organisers, competitors, as well as ourselves. It would be clearly remiss not to actually congratulate the senior team, obviously, in their huge success at the Olympic Games and all the people around the team, but not just the Olympics, but also the other teams as well, who've done a fantastic job this year, huge success on the international stage. Yogi's going to talk a little bit more about that in a minute, so I won't actually bang on about the teams overall, but clearly well done to everybody and a huge success and many congratulations. What this does for us, though, it enables us it gives us an excellent opportunity to capitalise on the inspiration that they've provided for equestrian enthusiasts and to further promote what we use as a bit of a strapline as the ultimate equestrian challenge as a sport that's open and available to all. I think also, as far as the Olympic Games are concerned, I mean, everybody would really recognise the efforts, and one of the key things actually was the international teams tent. Rosemary Barlow and her team did the most fantastic job in generating and supporting the atmosphere around the Olympic Games. I mean, Rosemary needs no introduction. I mean, everybody knows Rosemary, and what she's done for the sport over the years is fantastic. So, I mean, Rosemary, I think she's here somewhere. Yeah, well done to you, and thank you, to all your team yet again. Fantastic job, and looking forward to Rio. Yeah. So, so what we're obviously keen on is the awareness and the profile of the sport that came out of the Olympic Games. Clearly front-page pictures and double-page spreads in national rags doesn't come along very often. But what it does, it's just enabled us to broaden the knowledge and the awareness of the sport across a really, really wide audience and just share with them what just a fantastic sport we do have. And we intend to reflect this and use the opportunities presented by the success of all the teams, particularly around the Olympic Games, obviously, going forward into 2013. If we look at 2013, we started embarking on a major redevelopment of our website. This will be launched. It's a fairly big piece of work, not fairly big, a very big piece of work. And we shall be having this, the new site expected deliveries in the first half of 2013. And we are not only just doing that, but it's also looking at all our online communication resources and how we can communicate and use all the opportunities that are available to us. Website visits are up by 9%, unique visitors up by 10% for those of you who like stats, and the average visit duration has increased by 5%. Clearly, what this is telling us is actually there's a lot of communication and a lot of information going through our website, and we intend to actually develop this into much more sophisticated areas as we go forward. And what we want to do is we want to work closely with members, organisers and competitors to ensure that the project will provide a simpler, improved hub of information that everybody will benefit from. If we're looking around, as I mentioned just now, the opportunities around enhanced technology for the sport, improved communications using digital and print platforms, and also the services and support for organisers is very key. Our relationship with organisers, we're exploring to see what we can do more for organisers, what we can do better, how we can help organisers deliver their events better. And as generally part of what we do, we're looking at the style of communication, the content, recognising that feedback shows that we need to simplify our sport. It's confusing enough for us in the sport, let alone for those looking at us from the outside. And of course that's a challenge inevitably, but we should do that. But what we're trying to do is foster a more inclusive and inspirational type of approach. Talk to people who look at us from the outside and they see us being a little bit exclusive. We want to be seen to be inclusive, so there'll be a big effort towards that. We're also going to be, as I put up there, exploring, we're going to be piloting some owners' facilities at certain events this year. We recognise that owners are often sort of unsung heroes or heroines within the sport. We need to try and up our game and see what we can do as far as owners are concerned to improve their lot and make their experience more enjoyable and work with them. As I say, that just sums that one up. If we looking ahead, 2013. Come along. We've got various key activities that we're aiming at, and our operational resources are going to be focused on the following areas. Focusing on communication, opportunities, consolidation and development, standards, very important, safety and risk management, also equally important, and simplification and clarification. I've talked about communication plans for next year very briefly, so let's look at the opportunities. As Amanda mentioned, we're looking at, we continue to look at, it's never ending this, exploring the income stream opportunities for the business. The more money we can generate in terms of income around whatever the avenues they might be, clearly there's a direct benefit to the membership, and it enables us to keep fees down as much as possible, whether event fees, membership fees, horse registration fees. So the more money we can generate by use of data, by sponsorship, the better is everybody else, the better off everybody is as far as the business is concerned. And that includes looking at increasing web and publication revenues. Amanda mentioned we've got a fairly big project going on, notionally calling it an events project, but we're looking at competition formats. What are the opportunities that exist? Chris Hunnable, and he's begged me not to ask him to answer any questions today, is exploring additional sustainable competition opportunities for BE members. We're looking to see what else there is out there that might be of interest to members, to give them expanded opportunities that actually suit and fit in with their individual programs, and to broaden the appeal and experience for everybody who's involved. Also, just to help attract new membership as well, is a key part of what we're trying to do. We're also looking at horses. It's well recognised that actually we need to have a thoroughly sound base of equestrian flesh and blood coming through the system. It's something that has been largely been ignored up to now. It's had a little bit of lip service. we are looking to see what we can do as far as a national governing body is concerned to explore the opportunities around British breeding of event horses, pedigree data, how we can support breeders in their initiatives, and therefore to try and secure and promote British breeding so we can provide the horses for the riders to have.